THANKSGAMING. Yum.
So how closely? Because I played Xenogears. I played about an hour of Xenosaga and I threw up for a day. And then I went and played Xenogears again, and I like Xenogears a lot. And the story gets really fucking convoluted, like later on, because it's a long ass game. It's like just as long as FF7. It's like 40-50 hours. But at the end of that game, I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun with it. How close is this? It's like the same dudes that made the Xenos?
Yeah, so let me go into a little bit of explanation here. Monolith Soft is a company that was founded around the turn of the millennium, probably like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
They were pretty much started by the Xenogears team. Now, Xenogears was originally pitched as Final Fantasy VII,
right?
But at the time, Square said it's too dark and it's got too much religious allegories.
Yeah.
To be a Final Fantasy game.
To be a mainstream type of game.
Yeah. So they're like, we like your idea, but we don't think it fits Final Fantasy. So they encouraged them to make the game though. Anyway, so they did, and that became Xenogears. Xenogears are supposed to be the 5th game of a 6-game series, and then
what the hell? So they Star Wars did?
Kind of, and then there was some falling out with Square Enix there amongst the team, and they left and formed Monolith Soft, which originally was working with Namco. They were going to restart Xenogears' whole story with Xenosaga,
which is essentially a really shitty Star Trek.
And Xenosaga, there was a whole lot of drama there because they did 2 games actually for Namco. They did Xenosaga and Bite and Kaidos, which was...
Holy crap, I remember Bite and Kaidos. That was a GameCube game.
Yeah, the really pretty pre-rendered background GameCube game. It was like... It basically was as... Those guys are too weird. Maybe I should...
Speed them up. Let's look at more combat.
Yeah. Now, Bite and Kaidos was like probably the highest quality as far as like resolution goes for the pre-rendered background RPG.
It was gorgeous looking. Yeah. And they put all the polys into the ferret.
Yeah. So that was a pretty cool game, but that was a Nintendo exclusive.
It was only on GC, and they made Bite and Kaidos too.
Yeah. It didn't come out in Europe.
Really? Holy fuck! So they pulled an Atlas on them.
Yeah, kind of.
Atlas is good. I don't know what the hell is with Atlas in Europe, dude. And why the hell games take so long to come out in Europe that are Atlas games?
There is no Atlas. There is no Atlas in Europe.
Oh, well, there you go. That makes sense.
Oh, I died. Ryan, get me up. Ryan, you're gonna die, Ryan.
13 HP?
Oh, he can't get around.
Jesus, those were level 14 birds, and you were level 14 as well?
Yeah.
Damn, so you actually have to fight things that are lower than you, technically.
Most of the time. Those things are pretty badass.
Fuck.
Because they got spears and shit.
Fuck. Jesus, this world's mean. Well, fuck you up. Do you get a bicycle?
A bicycle? No, this isn't like Pokemon. So, anyways, after Bite and Kaidos games, and there was a big falling out. There's like even a worse brouhaha during the development of Xenosaga 2. And Namco basically tried to basically took the franchise away from the guy who was writing it with his wife, and yeah, Xenosaga 3 was basically Namco saying, no, fuck this, we're just wrapping this up.
They wrapped it up at Xenosaga 3.
Yeah.
Because wasn't Xenosaga 2 that was extremely similar to the first one?
Remember they had that huge character redesign, though?
Yeah, well...
Nobody liked it.
I mean, they already looked really bad as it was in the first one, and then they just looked even worse.
They look really, I don't know, like, okay.
Sexualized.
I get the first game when they looked like really little kids.
Yeah.
The second game, they looked really super generic. It's really boring.
There's nothing special. And the third one is when they sexualized it.
Yeah, got really sexualized.
Where, you could see all the legs of the main character, and, you could see, most of Cosmos was just naked at that point. Where it's just she had a bikini on. It looks like she came out of fucking... We should play Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. We should totally fucking play that shit.
There's nothing to play!
But we can make fun of the whole thing.
Oh,
didn't they make one for 360?
Yeah.
Oh my god, they actually made more behind
Yeah, there was a part 2.
Holy fuck, we gotta make the one that Pizza Face directed.
I don't think that was only one.
We gotta play the original.
They're both awful, though.
I know, I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying it'll be fucking hilarious. No, we don't always have to play good games.
No,
I'm telling you, that does not make the best entertainment some of the times when we play only good games.
My only fear with Dead or Alive is I don't know how long we can keep that joke going. Because it's like, hey, it's goofy and sexualized.
I think that might be the most amazing game for we had a title for this series that we really wanted to do, where it's how long we can play something.
Oh yeah.
I forget what we had a great title for it, but the theme is that we try playing a game and we make bets. We allow the audience to put bets on how long do you think we're gonna last.
Yeah.
Whether like sanity-wise or difficulty-wise, whatever. How long do you think we'll be able to play this shit? And it'll be 15-minute episodes like everything else we do, but we'll only play to a point at which we're fucking done. We're done with essentially Castlevania 64.
Yeah.
So I think Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball is a great opening to that. God, what did we call that show?
I don't know.
I'll have to remember it.
Time to Quit or something like that.
Yeah.
It was something like that, but yeah. Getting back to the whole Mana thing is after the Xenosaga brouhaha, Nintendo bought them.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up bought the developer. And they originally were making a lot of DS games. I think they had a pretty interesting one called Soma Bringer.
Yeah.
And that was like a really cool Diablo clone. Never came out in America. It was funny because they were doing a live interview with remember that stupid bitch Cammie Dunway?
Yes.
And
she was a bitch, but she wasn't very smart.
I don't. Okay, yeah. It's really.
Rain.
It's hard to say. I don't know how much of it was just the fact that she was either misinformed or just in the completely wrong field.
She was that very brief Nintendo representative.
Yeah,
right?
VP.
Yeah.
And Chris Kohler from Wired was doing a live interview with her, and she was asked, like, something got brought up about, like, why don't you translate these games? And then they're like, well, what are you talking about? Kind of thing. And like everyone's saying Soma Bringer for DS. She's like, I don't know what that is. And she was like, she didn't even know what fucking products Nintendo made. She just kind of only knew the games they were talking about at the show.
Yeah, she looked like she was just given the position. She worked at like a detergent VP, like laundry detergent before.
Oh, so here's where you find like special items. Collect items for future quests. When you pick up a collectible or treasure chest item, you may have a vision. You should try and keep any items you'll need for a future quest. That's the third moth
So we're going on a vision quest.
Items necessary for the future are marked with an exclamation mark.
Oh, so it's like, pick it up.
Yeah.
You'll need this later.
That's
Trust
the
me.
Third moth crawler. Me and Ryan always used to play with this. So yeah, if you pick up something that's going to be important in the future, the game gives you a little vision saying, hey, this item will be important later.
Yeah,
don't sell it.
If it's like, yeah, don't sell it or... Holy fuck. Mount Torta! Get him. Fuck that thing up.
That thing is over twice my level.
Fuck it up. We need a Game Shark ourselves, so like level 99 so we can fight all this shit.
Yeah, you can do that with hacks.
Hex. You do it with Hex. Is that a ghost?
Yeah, it's a nebula.
It's got a radiation symbol around it, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuclear.
This sucker's nuclear?
Nuclear. I've always pronounced nuclear wrong.
Level 82 Armored Rockwell.
Jesus God.
Oh.
I've always pronounced nuclear wrong, similar to how we have a friend that always says console as council.
Council?
Yeah. He always calls consoles a council, like a council of people.
Council of Elrond.
Yeah, like something like that.
Council of
He pronounces consoles like I pronounce nuclear and nuclear. I always had extra U's into nuclear for some reason. Always done it. Vienna Hill.
That's terrible.
Now I'm hungry.
Oh, hello.
Jump off and fuck that guy up. Do like a Buster Sword fall on him. He'll die. He'll
die.
die, don't worry.
He'll die.
Speaking of Buster Swords, I am so thankful for Final Fantasy VII Simmons. So thankful that we're going to have to play through all of that game for THANKSGAMING.
Nope.
I'm pulling executive tenure.
See, I think like my whole thing's mostly been gonna be is like, okay, I'm doing like rare and obscure Wii
games. Yeah.
You're pretty much gonna be doing like Sega games.
I'm gonna do Sega games and Saturn games and shit like that. Out Trigger.
Out Trigger.
Spawn in the Demon's Hand.
Oh no!
Let's fucking go.
No! Oh no!
Maybe. You gonna jump off?
Good.
You have to believe in the heart of the cards, Yugi.
I'll lose life.
Oh, that sucks.
I'll recover it though.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Okay, so let's assume I don't die from this. Then your health regens auto regens when you're outside of battle.
So this is kind of like It's kind of like a very forgiving MMO.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like if you die on a boss, it'll send you right outside the boss with everything you picked up during that boss battle.
Oh, okay.
Like with the spider bitch, it was like if you gained a level by killing all her little baby spiders around here, you kept that level. If you died and respawned outside of it, it didn't like send you back to like some previous save state.
That's really thoughtful. Thanks, video game.
But again, it's a big ass fucking game, so why waste your time?
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing is like why. So that's what I appreciate about this game. Not wasting the time of the player with things like the boss fights and letting you run through the whole thing again. Not wasting your time with the time itself and like controlling the clock, and instead the time of the game of you spent playing isn't spent with arbitrary things like backtracking and stuff like that. It's spent playing the fucking game. It's spent fighting things, it's spent grinding, it's spent, well, grinding is kind of padding, but it's spent like playing the game. It's a long as fuck RPG, like 90 goddamn hours, but for good reason, because there's actually a game to fill the 90 hours. I mean, right? You've played through most of this shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from what I had seen so far, I was actually ridiculously impressed because, like, dude, if I was 15 and 16 and I picked this shit up and I had, like, all the time in the world during a summer, I'd have fucking fell in love with a game like this. This is exactly the type of games that I looked for when I was like in summers, when not in school, like when you're on vacation.
Yeah. Summer break.
Like playing shit like Saga Frontier and Breath of Fire 3 and Final Fantasy Tactics and Wild Arms and all that shit.
Wild Arms.
All RPGs were the greatest fucking thing to play in the summer. This is the greatest. And shockingly, guess what my favorite thing of RPGs were?
Final Fantasy 7.
Well, I mean, that's my favorite game, but guess what my favorite thing to do in RPGs is?
Grind.
Fight and grind. It's to fight things.
Ugh.
My favorite thing is to go and fight things.
I thought I was going that way. No, it's down here somewhere. You know what's really funny about this game, though? I mean, it was going to be called Monado. That's what it was announced as at
Which is
E3.
the sword.
Which is the sword. And then I guess Iwata said that right before it came out, he thought he should change the name to Xenoblade in honor of the team's, heritage.
Legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
And all things considered, it's about the sword, and it's a Xeno game, but it's about a sword. The sword is kind of like what everything revolves around so far.
Yeah. And you were basically... it was really funny to, like, when you were watching me kind of get through the intro part, you were like, okay, so... how much is this really like Xenogears?
Yeah.
And you're like, replace the gear
with the sword, and replace Faye with Schultz.
Yeah.
And it's fucking, like, word for word and situation, just fucking like Xenogears. You start off, everything's happy, you got this town, you got this girl you like. Yeah, oh no, I have to go, like, on a little mission up a hill. I'll be back in a bit, guys. You come back and everything is fucked. And, like, you caused it. Like, I think even in Xenogears, when you go up there, you actually cause it. And it's the exact same sequence of events in Xenoblade. And I'm like, huh, they always make the same game? Is that kind of their thing?
Yeah, it's just what they do. And well, it was really funny because you were, I think your wife was watching us at one point, and she was basically like, really? This is kind of grim and dark, kind of like noticing how, like, the one...
Yeah, dude, the opening is pretty fucking brutal, just like how Xenogears' intro is really brutal.
Yeah.
When he comes home to, like, his family all dead and shit, and has nowhere to go after.
And the crazy thing for me was, like, you're sitting there watching, like, okay, so you called the entire fucking plot of the game entirely.
Yeah, there's
you called the whole fucking thing and every big twist in the game too.
There's a specific character that you're attached to at the beginning of the game, which has already happened and it's the beginning of the game, so there's no spoilers. This character dies, and within a second of that happening, and like things settle out, and everyone's grieving and stuff like that in the story. So I'm like, so this is gonna happen, and that's gonna happen, and the game's gonna be over. So I'm just like, fuck you, Max.
Yeah, I basically was just sitting there. Well, it's a Xeno game.
Well, it's a Xeno game. I'm like, all right. So I kind of know how these games kind of go.
Next time.
That's not a bad thing, but
it's kind of my one
is that your
tiny
gripe?
Gripe with this game is that
It's too Xenogearsy.
It is a Xeno game.
Yeah.
Like, it's It starts out like, okay, it's different enough from the setting and the fighting system. I mean, it really does start...
It's a different video game, but we're talking about story. We're talking about like how the game progresses and the events that bring characters from one location to the other. Super fucking similar to Xenogears.
So I put a new headgear on. Bam.
Take it off. You look like ass. You look like a giant
but
ass.
I get way more defense for it.
Oh, but you look like shit.
Whatever, I'm getting defense for it.
Oh my god, that's...
Yeah.
See, you're all about aesthetics. I'm about looking cool.
Whatever, I won't wear it forever.
True.
Just till I get a better one.